Do you like mysteries? To wander through the enigmatic mist of the inexplicable? Great. I'm Murk, and here you'll find what you're looking for. Welcome to my domains. The truth dissolves into the mist.
Beneath the majestic shadow of Mount Fuji lies a place where sound itself seems to vanish. A forest so dense and ancient that daylight fades into a ghostly twilight. Locals call it Aokigahara, but to the world it is known as the Sea of Trees, a name both poetic and unsettling. At first glance, it is beautiful, serene even, with its emerald moss, twisted roots, and thick canopy. But the deeper you go, the heavier the air becomes, as if the forest itself breathes around you, silently judging your presence. Those who have entered describe an eerie silence, a silence so profound that even their heartbeat seems too loud. No birdsong, no wind, only the soft crunch of their own footsteps. It is a silence that strips away the illusion of safety, forcing the visitor to face what lies within their own thoughts. And that is when Aokigahara begins its work. The ground beneath this forest was born from fire, shaped by the molten rage of Mount Fuji more than 1,000 years ago. Lava turned to stone, and from stone life emerged again, but not life as we know it. The magnetic minerals within the soil disrupt compasses, making direction unreliable. Travelers can walk for hours, only to find themselves right back where they started. It's as if the forest bends reality, refusing to let go of those who dare to enter. Centuries ago, famine swept through Japan, and despair forced impossible choices. Families, unable to feed everyone, turned to an unthinkable act, leading the elderly or sick deep into Aokigahara and leaving them behind to die. The ritual became known as Ubeisut, and with it came the birth of legends, tales of the forsaken who refused to move on. Their spirits bound to the place where love turned to abandonment. Locals began to believe that these spirits lingered among the trees, whispering through the roots, waiting for the living to join them. Many who entered the forest reported feeling as if unseen eyes followed them, or that the forest itself was shifting to lead them astray. Over generations, Aokigahara's reputation grew darker, fed by folklore and fear until it became a symbol of death itself. In the 20th century, the forest gained new notoriety. A novel, Koroijukai, The Black Sea of Trees, romanticized the idea of ending one's life in Aokigahara. It was fiction, but it awakened something in the collective imagination. Soon after, reality imitated art. People began to travel there for reasons no one could understand, or perhaps reasons too painful to say aloud. Authorities noticed the rise in incidents. Search parties were formed, and volunteers began to patrol the trails. They discovered what no one wanted to find: tents abandoned mid-meal, shoes lined neatly beside trees, wallets open with photographs still inside, colored strings tied to branches, left behind by those afraid of losing their way. But most of those strings led nowhere. They ended in silence, deep within the heart of the forest. Every year, the authorities attempt to clear the forest, to bring dignity to the dead and hope to the lost. But for every path cleared, new trails appear, carved by footsteps that will never return. In time, even the maps stopped marking certain areas. It was as if Aokigahara had decided which secrets it would keep and which it would allow the world to see. Visitors often describe a sensation of pressure, as though the air thickens the deeper they go. Some claim they can feel vibrations beneath the ground, a pulse that matches their own heartbeat. Scientists say it's the forest floor shifting over volcanic rock, but others believe it's something more, something alive. A former police officer who once patrolled the area described hearing laughter echoing faintly through the trees, even when he was alone. Another claimed to have followed footprints that suddenly stopped, as if the person had simply vanished. There are countless stories, each one stranger than the last, and all of them lead back to one question: what exactly waits inside the forest of silence? Some who have visited and survived speak of cold spots that follow them, of shadows that move independently, of voices whispering their names just beyond hearing. There are no animals that hunt here, no birds that call. It is as though nature itself has recoiled from the land, leaving it for something else to claim. Perhaps that is why Aokigahara feels like more than a place. It feels like a presence, watching, waiting, listening. The deeper you walk, the less you feel like yourself. Your thoughts begin to twist. Time feels distorted, and what was once curiosity turns into dread. The forest does not attack, it consumes. Quietly, slowly, completely. And those who have returned often describe the same haunting realization that when they finally emerged from the shadows, it was not just the forest they had escaped. It was something within themselves. Aokigahara is not a place for the curious. It is a mirror for the broken. And sometimes, when you stare too deeply into the darkness begins to stare back. Still, in modern times, Aokigahara stands as one of the most infamous places on earth, both feared and misunderstood. The Japanese government has long tried to reduce its dark reputation, discouraging sensationalism, removing markers, and patrolling the trails. Yet the forest refuses to lose its identity. Its silence is too deep, its history too heavy. Signs now stand at entrances, written in soft, pleading words. Your life is precious. Please reconsider. Think of your family. But the forest does not listen. It never did. Local volunteers, known as Jeishatai, patrol the woods daily, searching for those who might still be alive or those who have already surrendered to the stillness. They describe the experience as walking between two worlds, one of life, one of endless quiet. Some speak of an atmosphere so heavy it feels physical, pressing down with invisible weight. Others say the deeper you go, the harder it becomes to remember why you came in the first place. Despite the authorities' efforts to protect Aokigahara's image, its legend only grows. Over time, urban explorers, filmmakers, and thrill-seekers have brought cameras into the forest, capturing disturbing sights that blur the line between truth and imagination. Videos online show paths that twist into darkness, sounds that appear from nowhere, figures moving between trees that vanish upon closer look. Some of these recordings are easily explained. Others remain unsolved. Scientists and psychologists have tried to understand what draws people to this place. Some say it is not the forest itself, but what it represents: an escape, a mirror, a space outside time. Yet others believe Aokigahara amplifies human emotion, like a sponge soaking up despair. Its magnetic field is often cited as a reason for lost travelers, compasses spinning in confusion. But perhaps, deep down, people lose something more fundamental: their sense of self. Ancient spiritualists claim the forest is saturated with yore, restless spirits, unable to leave this world. These entities, they say, feed on grief and loneliness, whispering to those who enter until they no longer wish to leave. The thick roots and twisted trees are said to be the manifestation of these trapped souls, their forms frozen in the earth, reaching upward, begging to be remembered. Those who have spent long hours inside describe strange sensations, shadows, that follow them even when there is no light, whispers that come from behind when no one is there, a sudden cold breeze that disappears in an instant. Skeptics attribute this to exhaustion and fear, but those who've truly felt it know that logic fades quickly in Aokigahara. The forest has a way of bending perception, turning the mind against itself. But there are deeper, darker layers to the mystery. Some researchers claim that the entire area around Mount Fuji radiates a unique energy field, one capable of influencing human emotion. Legends even suggest that ancient spirits dwell beneath the mountain, imprisoned or sleeping, and that the forest above acts as a barrier, a spiritual seal keeping something far older and more powerful from emerging. Local folklore whispers of creatures known as Yamoba mountain witches who lure travelers deeper into the woods with familiar voices or cries for help. Those who follow never return. Others tell of ghostly lights that float among the trees, guiding wanderers off the safe paths into the heart of the forest, where silence becomes absolute. It is easy to dismiss these tales as superstition, but when so many who enter never return, belief starts to take root. Aokigahara does not need to prove its power, it only needs to wait. The forest is patient, even. Those who survive often speak of a strange phenomenon once they leave. They feel that the forest has followed them, haunting their dreams, replaying its silence in their minds. Some wake up hearing the forest breathing. Some never go back to normal life again. It's as if Aokigahara marks them, keeping a part of their spirit as payment for letting them escape. No one truly knows how many lives the forest has claimed. Official records are kept quiet out of respect, but locals say the number is far higher than the public believes. Each year, new patrols, new stories, new reminders that the forest does not forget. And yet, despite its grim reputation, Aokigahara is not a place of evil. It is ancient, sacred, and deeply misunderstood. To some, it is a place of ending. To others, a place of reflection, where the veil between the physical and the spiritual becomes thin. What is undeniable is the feeling that once you step inside, you are somewhere beyond the reach of ordinary life. In the end, the forest remains silent. It does not reveal its secrets. It does not explain its whispers. It does not confess what happened to the countless souls who walked into its depths and never returned. It simply stands, as it always has, at the foot of a sleeping volcano, growing stronger with every secret it keeps. And maybe that is its true mystery. Aokigahara is not just a forest, it is a question, one that humanity has been too afraid to answer. Do you believe the forest is haunted by restless spirits, or is it haunted by us, by the darkness we bring when we walk beneath its ancient canopy? Perhaps Aokigahara is not where life ends, but where silence begins.
Did you like this mystery? And what is your theory? Leave your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed it, then like and share. I'm Murk, and I'll be waiting for you in the next mystery.